What is up, YouTube? It's your boy Alex here from Team Generations, and today we are back with another market watch video. So I was thinking about doing one like last week or maybe the week before, whatever, just in between like the premium BRO, but I was like, you know what, V premium's coming up, let me just like kind of combine everything all together into one video. So this will be a little bit longer, so bear with me today. Let's see if I can even make it through this to the end. But yeah, a lot of stuff to discuss in terms of results and like just, you know, market implications from there. We'll see if anything actually did shake up. A couple interesting things did pop up for V, and we'll kind of talk through it as we go through. But without further ado, I'm here for cards, you're here for cards. Let's hop into it. If you're interested in purchasing any of these, go through our link down in the description below. Absolutely no cost to you. Help us support the channel. Thank you in advance. So over here, perfect performance Anj. Obviously everyone's talking about like Anj Highlander or Highlander Anj, whatever you want to call it, Anjlander. I think Bermuda is just so inherently broken. There's just so many, like, just so much generic good support for this deck. Basically, with Anj and Q-Tire together, not being once per turn, it's just like insane. You basically have to search out any cards that you want. And when you have the Pearl Sisters, things of that nature, just multi-attackers, things like that, it's just crazy. And if you were listening to this a couple weeks ago, I did mention that Anj, it was a good time to pick it up. It was a little bit cheaper than it was right now. So I didn't really see anything crazy go on. I know a lot of people are purchasing it. Actually, a couple people were purchasing it for like $8 around there, which is pretty insane. So once this sells out at that $6.45 price, we're back up to like a $9 market price kind of. And I could see that after winning such a competitive event, like 2 different regions. I think it's Man Long or something like that. I forgot. I think he's from Hong Kong. He won AO and NA, I believe. I don't think he won EU. I'm not 100%, but yeah, he kind of piloted the deck. I know Derek was playing that as well, Derek Dow. It was awesome games overall, but just a crazy deck altogether. And get yours, you know, if you can find these at locals for cheaper, totally go for it. If not, this is now becoming close to almost a $10 card, which is kind of crazy. Speaking of Q-Tire too, over here at market price at $3.35, we see that it is kind of spiking though, because obviously people do want to pick this up over here. We see copies are listed for that $3.98, so it is about a $4 card, $1 above its market price. Overall, I could see this kind of sticking at that for as of right now, but I think this is definitely suspect for like maybe a once per turn errata or just like another restriction, because this is already restricted with some other cards. So just kind of crazy overall. And again, Pearl Sisters, this is interesting. The grade 1 actually spiked to $3.99 over here, market price of $2.07. Listed medium price of $6, and we see people are kind of purchasing it for that $2 price range. Strictly Broken came and bought out everything. It looks like 127 copies, $3.99. This was a super cheap card for so long. Over here too, something that is interesting, not Melody, over here, Riviere is seeing some movement. I think that it's like a decent deck still. I think in premium a lot of people are trying it out too. Just force marker spam is good in general, but overall, we see people are purchasing it for that like $3 price range. Listed medium price of $7.99. This definitely jumped up. So now for a place that you're looking at, again, around like $26 or $24 kind of for about 4 of them, which is kind of insane for the double rare grade 2. We expect that for the VR, not really for that. And again, the grade 1 is even more shocking over here. Listed medium price of $9.90, market price of $4. We see that the lowest copies over here going for $6.97. So if you haven't bought into Riviera already, I know it's been out for about 2-3 years now. I think it came out 2018, 2019, one of those two, but it is pretty dang expensive. And the VR, ever since it's hit way back in the day, it's kind of stayed the same at the market price, $667 over here, $767. Sorry, I can't read today. But we see that people are purchasing it for a little bit more, and now copies are going for a higher kind of price range. And this could potentially become over a $10 card. This is an old VR, doesn't have any reprints in V, obviously, because it's that VR rarity. So overall, I'm really looking forward to like a big reprint set for like V, maybe even like another premium one too. God, too. So I can't wait for that. But over here, something shocking over here. Holy Seraph No CL. This came out of the Fighters Collection 2015. Pretty expensive card now. This was like a $5 market price, $5.95. I remember I picked up copies of this for like $3, a couple copies just to kind of have, because No CL is actually really amazing right now in premium. It's kind of the biggest sleeper deck, I think, in my opinion. But we see people are purchasing it for that price, which is crazy. Towards the end of last month, this is going for $20 now. So this is not that great of a card. You can honestly not even include it in there. It's okay, but I guess people see No CL, they want to stick it in, you know, why not put it in your G zone? I get it. So moving right along over here too, shouts out to, I think his name is Dave Vec. He plays over in Europe. I think he's in England or something like that, I forget, but he kind of brought light to the what was it, Mystery Flare Turbo kind of build for premium, and a lot of people were like ragging on him, saying that, you know, he got carried by Team Cardiff or whatever. He was just like the sub in for the Spring Fest, but you know, I saw his build, thought it was okay, and then he came and I think he topped 2 regions, he slept through one of them, but this deck actually has a lot of potential, and I think he's really showcased that now with 2 tops. I definitely agree that it is a solid deck overall, especially in today's meta. So the market price for this hasn't moved at all. Listed medium price $15, market price of $11.55. So we see people are big on this, like they are purchasing it for that price. They want to play Mystery Flare Turbo, and if we're looking to pick up a playset of this, like you're looking for, it's crazy. It's kind of bought out over here for the normal copy. You're looking at, you know, what is it, 12, 15, that's $27 plus an extra $60. That's crazy, almost $100 for a playset of this, so that is absolutely nuts. And then the SVR version, obviously a little bit more expensive too, listed median price of $38, market price of $20, and we see people are they purchasing it for this much? Yeah, I guess the end of last month people were purchasing the SVR version of it. So Mystery Flare Turbo is no joke. I'm glad I got my copies way back in the day. So I actually copied Dave's deck, and I'm just testing it out for myself. It's pretty interesting. It's cool. I guess you have to be like a very specific kind of player for this, but I think it's definitely fun. Over here too, just along that same line of train of thought, I don't think this is really used in premium. It could be, but this guy over here, this is Lost Break Dragon coming out of that same set. This guy is listed market price of $366 over here, and listed medium price of $699, and this is a very expensive card now. It's a card that was kind of dwelling around that like $3 price range for a while, but just became a little bit more expensive. I think maybe people are taking it into their premium build. I don't really know. Ultimate Beast Deity Ethics Buster Fighters Collection 2015 actually has a few sneaky cards in it, but this card as of yesterday was completely off the market. I guess people did list it today over here, but this is a card with, what is this, a $7 market price over here, listed medium price $29. And again, you know, you only need like 1 or 2 copies of these. I do have a Beast Deity premium deck. I was thinking of slotting them in, but I'm not purchasing it for this price. I don't have copies of this. Overall, I think that you can kind of get by with just the new Stride. Everything else is just kind of Stride fodder in there, but at the same time, you know, it's nice to just have a little in-theme kind of thing going here. So this is actually a really surprising card to me. And speaking of things that are just kind of like low-key, starting to get more expensive, I know I've talked about Dudley quite a bit, but I think there is still a lot of premium potential. It's still decent in V overall. I think it's solid. One of our players actually plays it quite a bit, but this guy is ticking upwards a little bit, you know, market price of $5, listed median price of $5.21. People are purchasing this guy $7.30, $7.31, so we could see that people are, you know, as of recent purchasing for it, and it's ticking up towards like a $5 and beyond card. Overall, I wouldn't be surprised if this became a little bit more expensive, because I think there's still a lot of unexplored potential in premium, at least with this deck. And obviously go check out Living Proof, things like that, if you want to see like a real Spikes master and just dive into it. You know, the comment section are filled with people who just like are super into this clan, so definitely always check them out. And Dudley Davy as well, becoming more expensive again. This was the Clan Selection Plus Volume 2. Like these original ones, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if they get reprinted in the next set coming around. Not the one in August. I don't think they're up for a reprint in August. No, it's like the maximum stuff. But this guy over here is becoming a little bit more expensive. I know it does have that $5.90 market price, but its listed median price is right above that, and it's starting to tick upwards. Once these playsets are gone, I could see this actually becoming like a $7 card, because this card is just so integral for the deck, so integral for the strategy overall. So be aware of that. And on the flip side, something like a value pickup thing right now, I'm saying just the Dudley G-Zone stuff. It's super cheap right now, and actually if you are running Dudley, like you can go into a couple of these. I probably would pick these up. I did pick up a couple of these the other day for, you know, pennies on the dollar kind of deal. This guy over here, Great Warrior 2, Dudley Geronimo, definitely worth, I think, in just investing a couple dollars if you have any interest in this clan whatsoever. We see that, you know, people aren't really super hot on buying these right now, but I think overall, you know, you can slot these in. There is like a Dudley build premium that does use them, so maybe check that out. But Unfading Ship, Immortal Galleon, this is again like a one of in every glam. I feel like every Grand Blue G-Zone pretty much has one of these. Fighters Collection 2017. Again, Fighters Collections are just super popular. I think that this guy over here, market price of $29, listed medium price, still around there, but you know, it's just crazy to me. I did not realize how expensive this card was. You know, is it really that integral to the strategy? I guess it's the GB8, so it's pretty easy. Or is it easy? I don't even know if it is. I don't really play against or play too much premium Grand Blue, but overall, I was just kind of shocked when I stumbled upon that, so I brought it to your guys' attention here. Nullity Revenger Masquerade. This guy is actually dipping, so if you have any interest in playing the new Revenger, like the Mordred support kind of coming out, now might be a decent time to pick it up. We saw that these were going for a market price of $16, but you know, nobody who was buying it for that. It was definitely not worth it. I know this is a VR rarity. It's probably the worst thing they did in this game. Double VR back that early in the game for Shadow Paladins, aka like expensive the clan, but this guy over here is now going for about $8, and again, that's not like great. $32 for a playset. But at the same time too, if you want to play that Revengers, that style with Blaster Dark, which I actually really like, that was my first like Shadow Paladin Real Clan NV. I personally like it. I'm going to be playing it, so you know, now might be a decent time to pick it up. Something along the lines of like, you know, Keter kind of stuff, or United Sanctuary stuff. A lot of the Liberator like old cards, I don't really know what these do necessarily. Just card from damage zone, turn it face up. I guess this is just a counter charger. They're like randomly becoming more expensive. This guy over here, White Rainbow Liberator Balin, this guy's market price of $273, listed median price of $738, and we see that over the past month it's just been increasing a little bit. I mean, just like a guaranteed counter charger is good, especially I think with the new support coming out that uses a counter blast. Oh geez, Blaster Blade Liberator over here, $56. I'm not even gonna go over that. But this card is definitely becoming a little bit more expensive, ticking upwards. Same with this guy, Liberator Star Rain Trumpeter. So this girl over here, market price $366, and we see the listed median price of $895. Again, just slowly old cards get bought out, and if they have a good effect, let's read it because I honestly don't even know. Place on rear guard if you have a gold Paladin Vanguard, pay the cost, shuffle your deck to the top card of your deck, circle it to 1. Blah blah blah. Okay, so it's like another top call. Choose a card named Boss Winner. I don't know. That's Blaster Blade Liberator. I have no idea. I don't play that really. So Sunrise Ray Knight Gerget. Obviously Gerget did pretty well, I think, overall in V. We thought there was gonna be like a tier 0 almost meta with Gerget, just based on my locals, like a ton of people were playing, but Gerget, you can counter it pretty well with a couple different decks. I know we just posted our Hero Flare deck profile, which, you know, it has an okay chance against it. It's just more of a meme deck overall, but a lot of Chaos and a lot of like Chaos Lock Stun, that kind of stuff, or Messiah, Chaos kind of mixes, they actually do really well against this. And there's certain matchups where Gerget just feels a little, I don't know how to say it, like fragile. But overall, very, very impressive deck, very good. And market price has not really changed too much, $21 over here, listed medium price, that's about it. You know, people are picking up playsets for 20 bucks. One of the best decks in the format, I guess, like, you know, that's acceptable, is the VR rarity. You know, it sucks. I have 2 playsets of this. I think one I picked up for like $4 each. The other one I picked up for $8. You know, I feel like I kind of lucked out on that. Like I just mentioned too, things that counter it. Alter Ego Messiah is actually a really great card, I think, in today's meta. Has a strong matchup into just general decks, I think, period. Has those force numbers, and on top of that, you can slot in a lot of the Chaos stuff. So if you're afraid of that Gerget matchup, or afraid of anything that maybe spams the markers like an Anj Highlander, this is actually a really great counter pick. I think Philip from Top Deck Heroes was playing this. I know my buddy Alec, also Oatman on Twitter, from Team Alchemy, he was playing this, and I've really just come around. I've been trying out different Link Joker decks. I played these at locals. I came in second the other day too. So I think this is actually a really decent deck, and I think that with the right pilot, you can go far. Obviously, part of that mechanic. Oh yeah, let me actually talk about the market price of this. $8 over here for the market price. Listed medium price $10. So we see people, I guess, listed a couple other copies of this for a kind of cheap. I don't know. I think it might be a decent time to buy. Who knows? I think that this, yeah, for like $5.99, I think it's definitely worth it. I know this is like a newer thing, but they have, you know, 100%. So, you know, TCG will refund you if that doesn't come. End of story. Genesis Machine DD of Volko basically. This guy also has the triple rare you need. You need like 4 copies of this, and this is pretty expensive as well. Kind of along that same vein of, you know, $4, $5, $20 for a playset. And we see that this is slightly, I feel like it's selling for a little bit under its market price right now. So now might be a good time to pick that up. I think this is a very underrated strategy. Something that we did see in premium, let me just take a sip real quick. Sorry about that. No Life King Death Anchor over here. So this is the SVR, and I think this is a very competitive deck overall. You know, Barrow, NLK into the new Stride. It's just a very oppressive turn. It feels like an Excel deck in Protect, which I kind of like. I really love that style in premium. And in V, I guess it's not really seeing too much play at the moment, but that's fine. So we see that the copies are going for around that $30 price over here. Market price of $24.62, listed median price of about $30 for the SVR copy. The normal copies are about $15, so it's not terrible. Another interesting thing that we did see, I forgot what region it topped, but somebody did bring Murakumo Dueling Dragons over here. I'm actually so happy about this. I love this deck. I've always loved it. I think it's just like one of the most fun things to like stun lock your opponent. And in today's metagame, if Gerget can't reride, I know I keep talking about Gerget, but I guess that's what a lot of people were kind of gearing towards. I guess they can't really get off a lot of their skills, so just wanted to see if this would have an impact on the market. And we see people are purchasing it. It's going up a little bit. Market price $384, and people are purchasing it for about $5 for the SVR version. You know, the base rarity version is like 50 cents for this. It's really not worth even mentioning, but that is an option as well. I really love the SVR rarity. I wish they brought something like that back. I just like absolutely love like the little logos, little sayings over here. The red background on the Dragonic Empire stuff is just so cool to me. So definitely check that out. And then over here, another deck that kind of is seeing a lot of play, I think, in premium. It's good, counters a lot of the top decks, I think, at the moment, and it's really interesting. I just put this together in premium myself, converted my V deck, but this is 6 Flowers of Phantasm Shiryuki, and this girl over here, market price 618, listed median price of about $10, and people are purchasing it for over the market price. We could see over here, and about a playset of this is going to run you around, you know, $23, $24 roughly. So, you know, it is that clan selection plus volume 1, so it is one of the more expensive kind of sets in terms of the clan selections or the general V collections that have come out all together. Almost halfway through our market watch now. Thank you guys again for sticking with us. Over here, Sweetly Smiling Ice Petal Shiryuki. These over here, these actually for $5 were, I think, a good deal, but now it's starting to tick upwards. Chex Mix cards over here, 51 copies. I think this is just like a rare out of this set, right? Yeah, it's just a rare, but this is actually a very expensive card, and this is, you need about 3 of these, I think, in your G zone to really pull off a decent Shiryuki game. If you can get to your second stride, it's just, you know, pretty free overall. You just put your opponent to like negative numbers that they really can't recover from unless they hit an over trigger. And something that I'm gonna say wait on over here, Vita Collection 2015, Cosmic Snowfall Shiryuki. She is not really even used. I've slotted her into my G zone, but I don't really personally use her too much. Don't think you really need it. 724 was the last time it was purchased for about that $20, a little bit under the market price. I could see this card ticking downwards. I would just kind of wait if you need one of these. I wouldn't purchase, I don't know, what is this, Shiryuki, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I wouldn't purchase it at the moment, but just wanted to kind of give you the heads up on that and timing wise what and when to buy it. Ambush Demon Stealth Rogue Shira Hagino, I think. Really expensive. This is crazy over here. So this was purchased the end of last month, a couple days ago. $33. You just basically need one in your G zone, but at the same time, this hasn't been reprinted for a while. Fighters Collection 2017 has a lot of actually decent cards. Overall, it's that triple rare rarity, I guess. Doesn't really matter in there, but only 3 listings on the market, $35, $40, and $99. So if you have your copies, you know, you're a motivated seller, post them right now, get rid of them. You can make quite a steal on them, unfortunately. Dragonic Vanquisher, again, just holding super value. I like to kind of go back to this card just to show you like a real anchor point for the clan. Just such a good card. This is great in V, this is great in premium. This is like, again, I have a video of my deck build. It's kind of changed a little bit since then, but especially with Exterminate Dragon, but overall, just like, if you want to invest in one deck and you're not really worried about price, but you don't really want to, you know, maybe you're into like Yu-Gi-Oh, other kind of TCGs or whatever, if you want one deck that you can play in both V and premium, this is a great option for you. And this is something that's just held its value over time, just absolutely insane. $27. And we see people are sticking to that. You know, that's like a real anchored kind of price point. So I just like to kind of bring that up once in a while. I think there's one other Narukami card. Maybe I kind of pushed it. I'll go to it a little bit later, but we did see like a pure, there's 3 different versions, I think, of Mega Colony that you can run in premium right now. There is Stun Bugs, just like complete pure Mega Colony stun, lock your opponent. Personally, I still like that. I like that a lot. I know a lot of the top players, I'm not going to name any names, kind of say negative things about it, but you know, at a certain point when you can't do anything, you lock your opponent out of playing, you're just going to out resource, out grind them, out pressure them, and this deck feels so oppressive in like so many matchups, especially into some of the top tier decks. You could also play Shield Fisher, where you go onto an 18k base Vanguard, kind of obviously buff yourself out defensively, give yourself a little more offensive numbers, hit those magic numbers a little bit easier too on your Vanguard swing over here. What else? There's also, I think, a machining. Somebody topped with like a machining version of this, and that is just insane to me. Like, Redora is still amazing, and we see that the price is falling rapidly over here. $25 market price, median listing price of $21, but people are picking it up for $16, $17, and you can get copies now for around that $17. And I think this is going to fall a little bit more as people kind of just wait and see. And I think that the stamp version is just around the same price. Something that's kind of crazy to me, I don't know why this was, but Cosmic Hero Grand Gallop, card that we haven't seen in like even from launch. I think, you know, you saw a couple people play it in Japan, but outside of that, like, it is crazy. Nobody plays this card. Market price is $6.65 over here. People purchased these last month for whatever reason for $5. That was the last reasonable. All of a sudden it jumped up to $14. Somebody purchased it for 4 copies of that. Crazy. So now this is a $15 card. Back in the day, you used to be able to get this for like, you know, a couple bucks for the SP. So I don't know what's going on there. Maybe there's some shenanigans I'm not aware of, but Ultimate Dimensional Robo, Great Daikaiser, Fighters Collection 2014. I don't know why this card is spiking. Market price $21, and it is purchased back in June for $40. So I guess that's really, you know, how the market price hasn't adapted yet, but the listed median price is about $50, and I don't know who's going to buy this. It's not really played. Maybe it's a collector's thing at this point, but the price is a lot higher than its market price, so I just wanted to bring that up. Dimensional Robo Kaiser Grader over here too. Kind of a crazy card. I like this like insane rush build for Dimensional Police. You know, you could do the standard typical one that everyone's running in premium right now, but at the same time too, you can kind of like rush to grade 3 and kind of outpace and stride on your opponent by the time they're still, I think, like on grade 2. That means them with this card. It's like an all-in strategy. It's a glass cannon strategy, but is really cool, and it never has been reprinted. So I just, you know, I hope they reprint this card eventually, because I'm not purchasing it for this $23 market price over here. And we see that it is listed medians right around there, but I just wanted to bring this to the forefront of your attention, that there are some crazy expensive cards that are still not like played in like the mainline strategy, and there are alternate routes that you can go. Speaking of the mainline strategy though, die liner, the regular one, is kind of cooling off a bit. Market price of $19.40. You see the listed median price over there is that, but there are starting to become copies on the market for a little bit cheaper. I think people are just, you know, people are big on D-Robos, but at a certain point, I don't know, I think it's actually really good in premium. I think people thought that it was going to be good in V after Die Kaiser came out, but it's just not that great overall. A little bit glass cannon-y. So I think that, you know, with just one format and with the competitive season coming up in the fall, people are kind of done with it for the summer. Maybe they're listing their copies now. Over here too, something very interesting. This topped in, I think, Japan and Daivangasai. The reverse Leopold over here, and Leopold has never been reprinted, obviously, because this is a VR from the V series. So this guy over here, market price of $8.75, and we see that the lowest listings over here for a playset, $13.49. And I honestly think Great Nature, with some of the new support that it is getting with Leopold reverse, with that new grade 3 grade 2 combo, I think that it actually is really decent in premium right now too. I think Great Nature has some potential. I feel like it's always like the potential deck, but never really rises to the occasion. But I personally really like it. I feel like it really fits my playstyle, and this guy over here is a little bit above its market price, so I think people are gearing up towards it. And this is an Arcami card that I was talking about. Divine Dragon Caper, this is conquering Supreme Dragon, Dragonic Vanquisher Voltage. So this guy over here, I think I talked about this the other week, market price of $16.17. But the copies are going for about $30. There are only 4 listings on the market, so very, very scarce overall, and people were purchasing it, you know, for that $15 price range. People really haven't purchased it as of yet, but this is an interesting card. It's not really necessary anymore, but interesting to just check it out. Speaking of checking out, let's go check out the newest collection over here, Peak Collection 2022. So banger set, really, really fun. Shook the meta up, I think, in my opinion. There's some decent prices on the SRs. I can see them just all increasing over time. I know this jumped all the way up to like $50 this week, and it's glad to see it's really back at 39. Zafkiel, that's how to say it. She's at 25 over there. Nothing too crazy. This guy falling. Yeah, this is actually a little bit cheaper. This is a good time maybe to buy that. But overall, nothing insane. SP of the Megacon one's pretty cheap over here too. But we see that the most expensive, the SP version of the, or SR version of Barricat's really cheap. That's actually kind of crazy. The Radiate Ocean Heltruda, she is expensive for the regular base version. Some of these SRs, I think now is the time to kind of buy in on, you know, maybe it's not using Genesis right now, but this dragon or whatever the heck it is, you know, maybe right now, purchase it. Giant Armor, this is one of the best G guards in the game. It's a great card, but this set is really actually very affordable. I think the MSRP on this was pretty low, and I think it kind of opened up the format to a lot of people in general. So this set, it's nothing too crazy. I think maybe some of the SRs you might want to get in on, but speaking of crazy sets, Premium Collection 2020, look at this booster box, just one listing for $2.99. It's just like insane to me. It's crazy, you know, all these cards up towards the top. Let's see if I can refresh this and get a better image on a couple of these cards over here, but it's just insane. You know, the SRs for these guys, $55. The normal for Joma Glass is $40. Again, Deep Police is really good. Oh my god, Narukami $62 still, $65 for the SR. Stun Versus, like, we desperately need another premium reprint set. I don't know what else to say at this point. You know, Bad Bounty, again, another staple for Grand Blue, Jaku Miso, whatever. This is super necessary. And a lot of these, oh god, Earth Elementals, they kind of just went upwards over here. What else? Just, yeah, a lot of value in this set. On the back end too, things are just kind of rising in general. Basail, yeah, wow, a lot of things are just rising. So interesting. And then Fighter Collection 2017, just wanted to kind of point out, because there are a lot of things that are kind of floating. I know we went over Galleon and Shirahagi, but overall, Black Seraph Elith over here, very expensive. The GB8 for Narukami, the GB8 for Dimensional Robo. There's just so many of them that are kind of increasing in price. Fang Dragon, Fist King Driger, you know, it's just crazy to me how some of these cards have really just elevated in price so much, even for cards that like aren't necessarily like the greatest. I think overall this is kind of crazy. So there are value in some of the older sets. If you can pick this up, I mean, it's really not a bad idea. $34 for this is like almost worth it in my opinion. Shifting over to Overdress now, not really too many crazy things happening, but just wanted to point out that Hoppin' Stellar Melty, the SP is actually going for about what the regular versions are going for. So I feel like I'm gonna bling out a deck. Maybe now is a good time. I guess it's $4 shipping on that, so it's not really $12, but you know, it's almost the same price as the triple rare version, and there are new melody stuff coming out, or whatever lyrical stuff coming out in September for Japan, I think October for us. So now might be a good time to go and buy some of that. Over here too, something that's really interesting, the double rare version of La Plume, just pretty high. I mean, it's not really crazy above its market price, $5.41, listed median price $6, but overall, I mean, just have a double rare out of these sets be $6, like that's the floor for this, is kind of crazy in my opinion. I know Kyrie is a really good deck. I think it's one of the strongest decks in the meta still, probably second or third best deck overall, but it is just insane. Cheshire Smile Larissa, the hollow version over here is $6, also market price of $3.31, listed price of $5.10, very expensive again, and this is a card that a lot of people like, this like powerful kind of thing, or friends kind of engine within Kyrie, that is definitely an option. Over here, shifting again gears into Festival Collection 2022, Cardinal Dominus Orpheus Regis. Regis is like a crazy, I don't know what's going on, I think it's just a phenomenon. This is definitely like an artificial price. This set, I guess, wasn't open like a ton. There's just not a ton of, in general, supply of this, but people are purchasing this card playsets for $100 for a deck that, like, it's not really doing too much. You could spend $100, get a lot better decks out there right now. I think that the potential for this deck is there. I think with the new, what is it, the promo card coming out, which is a problem, the way they're releasing everything useful, but it has potential. But over here, I just don't know, $20 for this card is kind of steep in my opinion, so I wouldn't purchase it for this. I don't know if I'd hold out either. If you really want to play this, sure, go buy it, 20 bucks. $25 is just too much in my opinion. I don't think that's fair at all. Sealed Blaze Dragon, Aushnia, whatever, I don't even know how to say it, but this guy has reached a new high market price of $12.43. This is definitely a card that's played, and therefore people love Bob's. You know, it has a waifu tax. $16.95 for one of these copies, and people purchasing $13-15. I don't think we've seen anybody purchase it for that $16 yet, but overall, like 17 bucks for this, absolutely crazy. Try to get them at locals or whatever if you can. I think that's just insane. And then Blaze Maiden Amelia, just kind of ticking upwards as well, $9.51, but listed median price of $15. And we can see once this guy with $9 copies are gone, over here, 50 cards has set the floor essentially once these two playsets are gone at $17.49. So this is a very expensive card or set that really wasn't open too much, and Brainwash Swirlers keep on going upwards. I think that people are really hot on this card still. I think there's a lot of potential with Jeweled and whatnot. I don't know if this is in it, but people are purchasing this card for $20, $16, $20, like playsets of these things, 2, 4. Absolutely nuts. And this is, you know, not above its market price or anything, but we see that, like, you know, you might think it's cooling off, but it's really not. It's still up there at that kind of price range. So, you know, if you don't have your copies now, maybe is a good time to get them. I don't know. Awakening of Chakrabarthi over here. We got Aurora, Fierce Princess, Seraph Pure Light, and it's jumping back upwards. Market price of $18.92, listed median of $23.50. So we see that people are listing them for around that $22, $25. Honestly, if you wanted a playset, you're in for almost $100 on this card. So we saw that this did dip down to, like, yeah, that $10 kind of price range for a while early July. I think a lot of competitive results showed that this still is a very good deck, and people kind of wanted to hop back on the train and just drove it right back up to that $20 price range. We did get the reprint of this set, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, but, you know, people still buy it out over time. Blue Artillery Dragon in the Pulse. We thought that this would become a little bit cheaper, but it's just proven to be such a good card. Flag works really good. People are still purchasing it for $10, $13, market price of $13, listed median price of $15.73, and we can see over here that it's not really changing. That is going to be kind of hard stuck to that $13 to $15 price range over here. So last card on our list today is Verena Esperardia. My advice to you is to pick it up. This is actually a really great card for Eradicators. I think that at the $7 price range, if you can get it for that, you know, $8.90 is kind of, you know, it's starting to get a little steep. This went a huge yo-yo. This was super cheap, $4 or $5, all the way up to like $20. Now it's back down to like $7. So I think just, you know, buy a couple copies of this. Make sure you have it in your arsenal, especially if you're playing Eradicators Premium. Just the restand ability is just really, really good overall with Exterminate Dragon. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you made it to the end, again, I really appreciate you guys. If you guys want to purchase anything, make sure to use the link down in the description below. Definitely appreciate it. And this is Alex from Team Generations signing out.